Hey there, everybody, and welcome. Today I'm going to be presenting a full, detailed tutorial and two-player playthrough of Whistle Mountain, a new hot game by two hot designers, Scott Caputo and Luke Laurie, published by Ted Alspach's Bezier Games. No surprise to those of you familiar with my channel, I'm going to be presenting this tutorial using a program I wrote to play the game, which is going to ensure no mistakes are made by forgetful me over the course of this tutorial. And of course, it's also going to let you see everything that's going on in close-up detail. Of course, I write these programs for my own personal enjoyment. I don't make them available to the public due to copyright restriction. But if you like what you see, please, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out the scores of other board game videos I've created over the years, and I appreciate your support. In the game of Whistle Mountain, the players are building up the mountain canyon with scaffolding and state-of-the-art machinery guaranteed to help them seek fame and fortune by scoring victory points. Players are going to need resources to build up the canyon, and in Whistle Mountain, resources literally grow on trees, but in this case on scaffolding. And you know what? Let me just get underway here so you could actually be looking at something rather than this. At its core, Whistle Mountain is a worker placement game, and the players' workers are their airships. Each player has a hot air balloon, a blimp, and a dreadnought that can hover around the canyon collecting resources and deploying the aforementioned machines. In effect, each player is going to be adding worker placement spots every time they build a new machine, because all players can later use their airships to activate those machines for resources, points, and special abilities. Most of the time, players are going to be flying around either collecting resources or machines from the market, additional scaffolding for expansion, special ability upgrades, cards, things like that. But when they're ready, they'll have a turn during which they'll perform a special forge action that lets them actually build everything they've collected over the past several turns. So turns in this game go pretty quickly until you have a forge action, and then you're going to be doing a bunch of different things at once. Over time, however, as the machines are deployed above this bridge line here where it says danger, snowmelt's going to cause the water level in the canyon to rise eventually. So we have the water levels right here, but it is going to grow up and up and up, and it's eventually going to submerge and waterlog old machines. It may sweep workers into the whirlpool below down here, and you're going to want to rescue those workers from the whirlpool, because each unrescued worker is going to cost you 5 victory points at the end of the game. When machines are built, your meeple workers can be used to clear out the red tape, so to speak. And for their hard work, you're going to earn additional rewards and points when they're promoted to the tower over here on the far right, which, by the way, never gets flooded out. Let's actually get underway here, because it's going to be pretty clear for you to see exactly how this works. Now, in this game, the blue player and the red player are going to be competing, and you know what? Let me say right up front that while my program is going to make sure nothing's missed or overlooked, nothing's going to prevent me from making strategically poor moves, especially since I'm playing for 2 players, and since I don't want this video to run overly long. So basically, watch this to learn how the game is played. Don't watch it to learn how to be especially good at the game. That part's ultimately up to you. All right, it actually looks as though blue was randomly chosen to be the start player, because in reverse turn order, each player starts the game with 1 water, 1 iron, 1 gold, and 1 coal. So water, iron, gold, coal. Those are the 4 basic resources of the game. But there's also a special 5th resource, brown over here, called whistles, and those are wild and therefore pretty valuable. As the second player in the game, which we're looking at right now, red starts out actually with an extra water, which is why you see 2 water here instead of 1. If I switch back to blue momentarily, you see that blue only has 1 water. If this were a 3-player game, the 3rd player would start with a whistle instead of an extra water. And in a 4-player game, the 4th player in turn order would start with both a whistle and an extra water. Each player also starts with 2 of their workers all stuck already down here in the whirlpool. The rest of the workers are sitting over to the left in the barracks waiting to be put to work on a scaffold. But if you don't get them to work, as the water level rises, they will get swept into the whirlpool and you'll have to rescue them again. Before the game begins, 1 plus the number of players, 3 in a 2-player game, special starting abilities are randomly drawn and displayed. And I should point out there are 17 different starting abilities in total, so there's a lot of replayability here. So players are going to be choosing one for themselves in reverse turn order, which is why we're looking at red first. So what do we have for this game? We have lead engineer. When you build a medium or large machine, gain a face-up upgrade from the display. And some of this may not make sense to you, but it will very soon, trust me. Technician says when you gain an upgrade, you may activate any machine on the board or in your supply. And Ace Pilot says you may place any of your airships entirely onto a single scaffold. It may not extend beyond the scaffold, collecting any resources adjacent to and directly underneath your airship. And while your airship is on a scaffold, no one may place machines or workers on those spaces that the airship occupies. Again, this will all make sense soon enough. I will say that normally in the game, you position your airships so they're adjacent to scaffolding, and you basically collect resources that way. But if you're an Ace Pilot, you're actually able to maneuver directly on top of the scaffolding, something that's normally not allowed because of the potential damage to your airship. I guess sort of like flying the Hindenburg over a bunch of power lines. Not a good combination at all. So these are all great choices, but red, I think, is definitely going to go with Ace Pilot. That's just a terrific starting ability. She really likes the sound of that. So red is choosing Ace Pilot. And from the remaining 2, well, blue's not happy that red got Ace Pilot. Technician is very, very enticing, though. It might tend to make blue want to wait to delay the purchase of upgrades, which are usually best to buy early. I think blue is going to go with technician. Okay. Now that the starting abilities have been chosen, still as part of setup, in regular turn order, each player is going to choose a stack of scaffolds. There are 3 stacks over here. Basically face-up stacks, but you can only see the top scaffold. There's a Z-shaped stack, a T-shaped stack, and an L-shaped stack. 14 in each stack, and this is just showing that you're seeing the top one and there's 13 more below it. So the players have to choose one stack, and then they're going to receive the top 2 tiles of that stack. So all players start with 2 of the same shaped tiles. And of course you can see what's on top, but you can't see what's underneath, so you don't know exactly what you're getting. But after you take those 2 tiles, the player then has to deploy one of those scaffolds onto the grid so that the tile is adjacent in some way to the bottom edge of the grid next to the water line. So since blue is the start player, it gets first dibs. Blue would like to start with a scaffold that shows coal on it because the cost to buy a small machine up here is 2 coal if you get there early. And small machines tend to be the first kind of machine you buy and build in this game, as opposed to medium machines, which are here, and large machines, which are down here. Medium machines cost 3 iron, and large machines cost 3 iron and 2 coal. So because blue is interested in coal, I think he's going to choose this stack, and therefore he's going to get this scaffold and the one below it. Okay, so there's his two. And actually got two both with coal and water, so that's good for him. He's happy about that. He only places one of them, and he has to think about the fact that red is ace pilot, so he has to kind of position this sort of strategically so that red can't totally mess with him. Let's see. Oh, when you look at a T shape with two whistles on it showed up, that's going to be nice and enticing for red. All right, I think doesn't really matter which one I use, but I think I'm going to take this one. So it has to be adjacent down here, anywhere you can see this turns green as soon as it's in an appropriate location. Now these can be rotated and flipped any which way. And I think I'm going to put it down like that. Well, you know what? Let's put it down like that. Okay, so now it's red's turn to choose a stack. And yeah, those whistles are definitely attracted. Yeah, red's going to choose the top two of the T-shaped pile. Okay, the second one had a whistle and a gold on it, so those are two nice tiles for her. She will take this one with the double whistles. Now this has to be adjacent to the water line. It does not have to be adjacent to the other scaffold, but in normal gameplay, anytime you place a scaffold, it does have to be adjacent to something else, but not during this part of setup. But I think red does want to be adjacent. I think red's going to flip this around and tuck it underneath like that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now each player has their leftover scaffold. The two scaffolds are on the board because this is a two-player game. And blue is the starting player, and setup is now behind us, so blue is ready to take the first turn. And as I said, these turns go pretty quickly. For the most part, you're going to be choosing a worker placement spot, these little docks along the edges and one up here at the top, that'll let you do different things, be it purchase a small machine, purchase a medium machine, purchase a large machine. There are two spots up here. If you're not early, the second spot makes you pay 3 coal instead of 2. There are cards in the game which you can get your hands on that give you special one-up abilities and let you take actions that you wouldn't normally be able to take during this type of turn. As I mentioned, there are these upgrades up here, 3 of which are on display that give you powers, just like your starting ability, that last throughout the rest of the game. There are 3 docks here for access to scaffolds. And finally, there's a dock down here that allows you to rescue a worker from the whirlpool for free. Okay, so that's a general summary. On your turn, you're going to be positioning one of your ships in a dock or on the grid itself, normally adjacent to scaffolding, so that you can collect resources that are adjacent to your airship. So this is all part of what's called a collecting turn, either collecting something from the board or collecting resources from the grid. If you have cards, you are able to play 1 card per turn. Of course, nobody has any cards right now, and if you have an upgrade, that upgrade might be able to give you some special action. And there will be rewards for promoting workers to the tower over here, and you'll collect these rewards as well in front of you, and you're limited to redeeming one of them for whatever ability it offers once per turn, one ribbon per turn. Okay, so with that behind us, what is blue going to do? Well, blue wants to get this coal so that he can have 2 coal in order to get a small machine very quickly. So blue is going to take his blimp. Now, the hot air balloon occupies 1 space, the blimp occupies 2 spaces, and the dreadnought occupies 3. Blue is going to take his blimp and rotate it at 90 degrees. Of course, it can be rotated any which way. And he's going to put it down here. So adjacent to the blimp now is the coal above it and the 2 water that are below it. So with this action, blue is going to collect 2 water and 1 coal. And he'll have a total of 3 water and 2 coal when all is said and done. And there it is. So now blue has the 3 water and the 2 coal, along with the single iron and the single gold that he started with. And now it's red's turn. So, as I said, unlike blue, red as the ace pilots is permitted to hover over or land on top of whatever you want to imagine of scaffolding and collect adjacent resources, as well as resources underneath her airship. So, in effect, she's going to be able to possibly place her dreadnought, for example, right there, and collect coal, water, whistle, and whistle, because all of those are underneath or adjacent. She could also go over here and skip the coal and go for a water, a whistle, another whistle, and 3 water below. I think that's what red's going to do. So that's going to amount to 2 whistles and 4 water for her. So red's turn is over, but for now I want to point out that while you can generate and use any number of resources during your turn, you're not permitted to hold more than 4 of any resource as of the end of your turn. That's why I have my program has a little red bar here sitting under here warning me that as soon as I end my turn, I'm going to lose 2 of those water. And they're about to be returned to the supply as soon as red ends her turn, which is going to be right now. And I guess while I'm speaking about it, let me just briefly mention that, well, these numbers up here basically tell us what's in the supply in the way of water, iron, gold, coal, and whistles. The game this is a closed economy. There are only 16 of each resource available in the game. These numbers represent the numbers there at the top represent what's left in the bank, if you will. But considering this is a 2-player game, those values are probably never going to get low enough so that a player will ever be denied gaining a resource they're entitled to. But I suppose it's possible in a 4-player game, if every player has a lot of one resource on their player board at the same time, it's possible something might get low enough that you might be deprived. Okay, blue's turn now. So as planned, blue is going to grab a small machine. He's going to fly. It doesn't really matter. Both of the ships of any size can fit in these docks. So he's going to fly us a hot air balloon over here. And for the cost of 2 coal, he can buy metal pointer, which when built, not bought, but he's only buying it right now. He's not building it. When built, it will score blue 5 points. You can see the enlarged version over there in the top right corner. When activated by a machine that's adjacent to it, it will generate 1 iron and 1 point. Then we have the wet pointer. When built, scores 7 points. When activated, gains a water and scores a victory point. And finally, the wet gold small machine, when built, scores 6 victory points, and when activated, gains you a water and a gold. All the small machines just generate a couple of resources. That's basically it. The fancier, larger machines often have you paying something to make something special happen. So each machine is very unique in that way. Of course, when you activate a machine, it's up to you whether or not you actually want to pay the resource and get the benefit. You can always decide to essentially bypass activating the machine. Okay, I think blue is going to buy the wet gold. So blue's going to take the wet gold, pays the 2 coal, and now has sitting in front of him his extra scaffold as well as wet gold that he just bought. As I said, he just bought it. He has not built it. He can't do that until later on when he performs his forge action. And notice that the display was immediately refreshed up here, so what came out was shiny iron. When built, score 4 victory points. When activated, gain a gold and an iron. Okay, back to red. Okay, it's red's turn. I think red wants to get that whistle that's sitting there. So this is a kind of a wasted turn, but I think red's just going to put this, put her balloon right here, and actually she can put it right here and collect both the whistle and the water. So yeah, we're going to do that. Oh, actually, I forgot there was a whistle under here. Would have made more sense to put it here and get 2 whistles in water. Oh well, my mistake. That's part of the thing of this game. You've got to sometimes lift up pieces to see what's beneath them before you take your turn. And these are big chunky ships, airships that are made of wood. So I guess part of the little hassle is that they do block your view sometimes. So there's a little bit of lifting pieces, seeing what's tucked underneath before you actually take your turn. So in this case, we got a whistle and a water, but I suppose if we were smarter, we could have gotten 2 whistles. Okay, sorry, red. Blue is going to place his dreadnought. So we're not going to make that mistake again. We know there's a whistle here. So we can collect a coal and a water, or we might as well get a whistle and a water. I think that probably makes more sense. So we'll do that and get a whistle and a water. Blue's turn is now over. So now that red has 3 whistles, she can afford to buy an upgrade. So remember, players can buy and hold up to 6 upgrades over the course of the game. And normally you have a player board in front of you when there's a place for all of your upgrades, a place for your starting ability, a place where you put all your resources. You know, there's a place for everything in its place. I'm not making use of the player board here just because I wanted to make use of space a little more efficiently than because I don't need to have that whole player aid that's sitting there. But this is sort of what the player aid looks like to the left of where you collect your resources on your player board. Okay, so red is going to go for an upgrade. So we're going to take the blimp and park it up there, and let's see what is available. We've got the gold lung, which makes gold wild. It costs 4 gold to buy it, and it's worth 2 gold at the end of the game, not when you actually buy the upgrade. So there are some points that you score at the end of the game, and it's wild for the rest of the game. So 4 gold for that. Certainly she can afford it with 1 gold and 3 whistles. Iron lung, okay, so they're the same kind of concept. You pay 4 iron, and now iron's wild for the rest of the game. As you might imagine, there's one of those for each of the 4 basic resources. So there's going to be a water wild one as well as a coal wild one. Whether or not we actually see them remains to be seen. It was a coincidence that both were near the top of the deck. There are 24 upgrades in total in the game. I think well, what do we have here? The strengthener. Whenever you build a scaffold, score a point. Yeah, okay, so red's going to choose one of these, and actually, as long as red has a scaffold with gold on it, it's a toss-up, but red will just take this and pay 1 gold and 3 whistles. Okay, so now right now, that's effectively, it takes effect immediately, and now gold and whistles are wild for red. Back to blue, who is forced to perform his forge action here, so all of his airships have automatically been recalled. Can't do anything else to take a turn. And so as part of the forge action, blue can build up to 3 things, be they scaffolds or machines. And as part of the forge action, builds can also move or rescue, that is, move one worker from the barracks at a cost of 1 gold, or rescue a worker from the whirlpool at a cost of 2 gold, and then place them on an empty space on the scaffolding. Empty meaning devoid of an airship, of a machine, of any resource. It has to be completely empty space on the scaffold when you're placing a worker. So at the moment, Blue cannot build wet gold because he does not have a contiguous set of 4 spaces that this machine takes up, because the dreadnoughts here are blocking it. These airships not only block worker placement spaces, they also block what other players can and can't do on the grid. So there's a very strategic element of placement that goes into where you decide to stick your airships. I think to create a set of 4 spaces, Blue is going to first build his scaffold. Now, this won't cost anything. The first build is free. We're going to rotate it like that and just put it down like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we can either build here or here. And I think I'm going to build here so that I have this coal on the end still exposed, so I can still park an airship down here or under here to get access to it. Placing your machines and keeping resources available is a big part of the game as well, and I'm sure I'm going to fail at that. Before I actually build the wet gold, I do want to rescue my worker, and I have a gold and a whistle, so that could pay the 2 gold in order to do that. So I'm going to take one of my guys, and where I wanted to build over here. So I'm going to stick him right there. So that costs me the gold and the whistle. Oh, and by the way, when I place this scaffold, you score 1 point for each adjacent edge that the scaffold touches of some other object on the grid, be it another scaffold or a machine. So in this case, I score a point for that edge that's adjacent, that edge, and that edge, and that's why Blue has 3 points over here on his score. So I paid the 2 gold for the worker. As soon as I place the wet gold on top of it, the first thing that's going to happen is that the worker's going to get promoted and transported horizontally over to the tower. He's going to be on the 2nd level of the tower, and I'm going to earn this award, which I can redeem at any point during my turn, now or later, to build a scaffold or a machine. Of course, I can't use it now. I won't have anything to build with it, but it does allow me to perform a build action outside of performing a forge action. So I can normally you can't build during the collect phase of your turn, but these awards and these special cards, for example, allow you to do things like that. So we're going to take wet gold and we're going to position it right here. Of course, machines can be positioned on top of workers, on top of resources. They have to occupy spaces of scaffolding. The scaffolding does not have to be adjacent. They cannot be placed on top of airships. Oh, no, they can be placed on top of airships, in which case those airships get sent back to the player board. So actually, I could have built down here, but I wanted to get this build award. There are 4 awards down here which allow you to rescue a worker, but you don't get points for having workers sitting on the bottom level of the tower. You get a point at the end of the game for workers that are on the 1st level, 4 points for workers on the 2nd level, and then 1 point higher than the level all the way up to the top. In this case, I'm going to build wet gold right here, so the worker is going to get promoted and land over here at the tower, and I just got the ribbon, and now wet gold is placed on the grid, and whatever was underneath it, whatever resources were sitting under there are no longer visible and therefore no longer available. But now you can place adjacent to or on top of a machine and activate that machine and get whatever benefits it provides. Blue has rescued a worker. That was his move or rescue action. He's built the only 2 things he had in his possession. He's done. He could redeem this, but he can't because he has nothing to build with it, so he's just going to end his turn. Red is now forced to perform a forge action as well. She had all of her airships were deployed, so they came back automatically. And unfortunately, because she invested in an upgrade and whatever else it was that she did, I guess she collected, she only has one thing that she can build. She has this one scaffold. Where are we going to put it? I think we'll flip it around like that and maybe tuck it in here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Okay, so red has 4 points for placing that scaffold, and she could rescue or move a worker. Well, actually, she can't because she doesn't have. What's wild? Gold is wild for her. Yeah, and it costs a gold or 2 gold. So she can't even afford to move somebody. But if she did, I don't know that she would, um, because you really want to rescue or move workers around when you're ready to promote them, when you're ready to build a machine. And right now, Red is not so sure how things are going to shake up when it's time for her next forge action. Okay, back to blue. First order business, make use of that machine. So as I mentioned earlier, while players aren't permitted to place machines on top of scaffolding, unless of course you're the ace pilot, they are permitted to place them on top of a single machine. So blue is going to take his blimp. Now you can't span a machine and a piece of scaffolding, and you can't span 2 machines, but they can be placed directly on top of the machine in any which way you want. I think blue is going to park his machine right here, which is going to gain him 2 whistles, a coal, and a water and a gold from the machine. Okay? Red's turn. Let's see. I guess we'll take our blimp and we'll just put it right here. Since gold is wild and whistles are wild, I could put it over here, but then we're just going to have excess water that we're going to lose anyway. So I'm just going to put the blimp over here. Oh, I made it. Well, I could have come down here, but then I wouldn't have gotten the gold. But it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, because gold and whistles are the same for red. They're both wild. Okay, back to blue. Okay, this time, what's blue gonna do? Let's have blue buy some scaffolding. So he does have 2 whistles. So when you go to buy scaffolding, you can buy 1 piece of scaffolding from any stack for free. If you want a second scaffold, you have to pay 1 whistle. If you want a third scaffold, you pay 1 more whistle for a total of 2. So don't misread this. It's not 3 for 3 scaffolds. It's 1 for the first one, 1 for the second one, and 1 for the third one for a total of 2. And you can buy these scaffolds from any combination of stacks from whatever you see on top. Now, any ship can fit in any one of these spots. So since I don't really see a place where I can effectively place my dreadnought, well, I do actually. But I'm just going to, just for demonstration, show you that the dreadnought can go there just like any other ship. And since he has 2 whistles, not a gold, because gold's not wild, I have to keep that straight for each player. So he can buy 3 pieces of scaffolding. And I think, since he's not sure what he really wants right now, maybe he'll take 1 of each type. He's thinking to himself, if he can get a hold of this iron lung, and coal, so black lung's out there as well, but if he can get a hold of iron lung, all 3 of these have iron on them. Yeah, he's going to grab this one, pay a whistle for that one, and pay his other whistle for that one. And that ends his turn. And, again, I was mixing players up. I was talking about Blue could have placed his Dreadnought on the scaffolding. Blue was not ace pilot. Red is ace pilot. Sorry about that. Okay. Red. Should Red buy scaffolding, or should Red finally buy a machine? Her airship is sort of saving the space for a small machine when she's ready to build it. I think she's going to take her... She'll take her balloon and stick it up here. And for 2 coal... Well, this one makes the most sense because it has a gold on it, and gold is wild for her. So she's going to take shiny gold. Buy that for 2 coal. Well, a coal and a gold. Okay, Blue. Blue has 1 airship to place. Has a collection of resources. Has plenty of water for building next turn. We could buy a machine, but let's go up to the card dock. So let's take the hot air balloon, go up here, and I'll demonstrate how good cards are. Now, like the scaffolds, the first card is free. You pay 1 of any resource to get a second card. You pay 1 of any resource, be it the same or different, to get a third card. So you're either paying 0, 1, or 2 resources to get 1, 2, or 3 cards. Obviously, you'll get the first one for free. So the first one we got was Treasure Chest. And I think since we got 4 water, more than we need right now, I'll pay a water to get another one. Mystery Upgrade, and I'll pay a water to get another one. Craft. Okay, so Craft lets you spend a gold to build a scaffolder machine, similar to this award, except there's a cost. Mystery Upgrade makes you pay a gold, but then you get to draw an upgrade from the face-down stack of upgrades, so that's why it's a mystery. And Treasure Chest is simple, it just gives you 2 whistles. Now, we have a benefit anytime we gain an upgrade. I'm not sure if I'm ready to use this yet. I think the 2 whistles might be more valuable. You are limited, I think I said this earlier, you're limited to playing 1 card per turn and redeeming 1 award per turn, as a bonus action, if you will. So that can be part of a forged action turn or as part of a collection turn. Yeah, I think we're going to just grab the 2 whistles for the time being. And that card gets put into a discard pile, which is why there's a number 1 up here now, just showing. And those discards are face up, so it gives you an idea of what's been discarded and what might still be in the deck, if you know, generally speaking, what kind of cards are in the deck. Okay, Red still has an airship. She can afford a medium machine for 3 iron because she's got an iron and 2 whistles. But she has a machine. She could buy some scaffolding. Or she could come down here and rescue a worker. Or she could collect whistles and gold with her Dreadnought. Let's take this, and what if we put it right here? Or what if we put it right here? Now is there a whistle? I'm forgetting. Oh, there is a whistle under there. So if I put the Dreadnought here, then that's 3 whistles, 3 water, and a gold and a water from the machine. That's a good. I'm going to end up having too many whistles, and I'm going to lose some of them. But still, that's a good place to go. Actually, I have too much water as it is. So 3 water and 1 whistle is going to go back, but that was a pretty good collection spot. Okay, back to blue. So blue has to now take his forge action, and he has 3 pieces of scaffolding that he can build at a cost of the 2 water that he has. So let's see, what am I going to do? Well, let's take this, and I suppose I could tuck it in right that. And if I do that, I am blocking that alleyway I have, but and I'm locked, and so now the coal's going to get blocked out. But I do want to make efficient use of this space, so I think I'm going to put the first one there. Well, that's leaving open an empty space, but I don't know if I'm bothered too much by that. What if I do that? Yeah, I'll do that. And then this, I guess, would fit nicely right here. So I am building another alleyway where I can get access to all these resources. And if I can get my hands on that iron lung, I can stick a dreadnought in there and grab 3 iron. Of course, red's probably thinking the same thing. Yeah, let's do that. Now, flooding doesn't occur until you actually build a machine above the bridge line. Scaffolding can go up there without problems. As part of my forge action, I guess I'll rescue my other guy because I have a whistle on a. I have 2 whistles. No, I have a gold and a whistle because it costs 2 gold to rescue. So I'm going to take this guy, and do I want to rescue him or should I wait like Red did? Maybe I'll put him here. That leaves me enough room to build here, even if Red decides to build up there, which Red will do because Red doesn't want to promote my worker. But having the worker here means that eventually you could gain this ribbon that gives me a free upgrade, and I get a benefit from upgrades. So yeah, I'm going to put the worker there. Cost me a gold and a whistle. And I could play one of these. I'd be spending my remaining whistle. Let's hold off. Maybe I'm going to want to do a collection first. So let's end the turn. And now Red is going to perform a forge action. Only has a small machine she could build, so she's going to start by rescuing a worker and putting it up here as Blue expected, and is going to build shiny iron right here. So that worker is going to get promoted and go over here to get that, activate a machine on the grid or a machine in your supply special award. Okay, and that scored 4 points. For Red, score stands at 19 to 8. Blue's been much busier than Red has, but Red will catch up. So if I didn't mention it earlier, let me say again that while I built some scaffolding that has gone above the danger line, I did mention this earlier in the video, but scaffolding you can build to your heart's content up here, but as soon as you build a machine above them, whether part of it or all of it is above them, above the line of the bridge, the snow melts and another water bar comes out, starting to flood and sweeping whatever's down here either back to your player board if it's an airship, into the whirlpool if it's a worker, and if it's a machine, the machine stays there, but the machine is now non-functional because it's been filled with water, even if it's partially submerged. So we're ending Red's turn. I think Blue is going to take his dreadnought and drop it down. Oh, so now that other iron's not available because it's covered up, but shiny iron provides it. So we're going to get an iron, a water, a gold, and an iron by placing this here. Okay. Red's got 3 whistles, 4 water, and an iron. Maybe Red will make up for not having machines. Yeah, you know what? I think red's going to take her balloon and go to the medium machine market. And what does she have a choice of? Hoist, when build scores 8 points, when activated, you can spend 1 gold to rescue a worker from the whirlpool. So that normally costs 2 gold. You can use this machine to only spend 1. We've got Crane, when built score 10 points, when activated spend 1 whistle to gain 2 scaffolds from any combination of stacks. And Booster Pack, when built score 10 victory points, when activated spend 1 whistle to gain a face-up upgrade from the display. Now that's good for blue, but when these are built, they help everybody. Red is going to spend 3 iron and going to take Crane, I think. So spent an iron and 2 whistles in actuality. Since she's got the whistle, she's going to redeem her reward that says activate a machine on the grid or in your supply. She's going to use it to activate Crane, pay a whistle to take 2 scaffolds. So she basically bought scaffolds and machines in 1 turn. Let's take this one. Let's take that one. Let's take both of them. Okay. Now, Blue would have liked to have gone, definitely saw a booster pack up there and would have gone up there to get it, but now he's locked out. There is a card that allows you to bump somebody from the dock, and so you can get your airship there, but unfortunately I don't have that card. I do have the gold. Let's finally play Mystery Upgrade, see what I get. It could be a dud. I mean, there are some upgrades that are certainly some upgrades that are better than others, but there's a little bit of luck of the draw. Duplicate. Oh, wow! Maybe the best one of that's available to blue right now. Wow! Duplicator allows you to spend 1 gold to duplicate the starting ability of any other player. And then if in the future, you can always play 1 gold if you're in a 3 or 4 player game to switch it and move the duplicator token to another starting ability. So you can now have that starting ability in addition to your own. So blue has a whistle. Blue is going to activate this right now and now has the ace pilot ability just like red does. So that evens the playing field a little bit as far as starting abilities are concerned. Well, now red's, I guess, a deficient because red doesn't have technician available. But wow, that was a great draw for blue and totally random. And he still hasn't taken his turn. That was all just card. Oh wait, as the technician, you're entitled to activating a machine when you purchase an upgrade. Since he has his eyes on Iron Lung, we'll have him activate Shiny Iron over here. Okay, so now the card's gone. It's been officially played by my program, and so I only have Craft left. He's got a huge amount of iron, and now we can spend some of it, and I think now we can buy Iron Lung. So I'll take my balloon, I'll put it up here, take Iron Lung, which allows me now to activate again, and of course I'm going to activate Shiny Iron. Great turn for blue. Maybe red will get some cards of her own. She's got 4 water. You know, we don't want to be without cards. Cards are really powerful. You can't ignore them in this game. Large Market lets you buy a large machine for 3 coal and 2 iron, as opposed to 3 iron and 2 coal. I have a feeling this was a misprint, or maybe the cost of a large machine used to be 3 coal and 2 iron, and one got changed and the other one didn't. But you go by what's on the card, they said, so it is what it is. So we're going to pay a water to get another card. We got treasure chests for 2 whistles, and we're going to pay a water to get recycle, which allows you to choose a scaffold on the top of any stack, take the resources that are shown on it, and then move it to the bottom of the stack, revealing what was underneath it. I think for now, she's simply going to play treasure chest and take the 2 whistles. back to blue, who's got one airship left. I guess you'd get some scaffolding. Yeah, we'll take our blimp. We'll go over here. Well, not a lot of competition in a 2-player game, but in a 4-player game, I could imagine people fighting for these spots. We definitely want this with the iron depicted on it, and we'll take that with the iron depicted on it as well. With a whistle, yeah, 2 things wild. Though ultimately these things are probably going to get covered up by machines to some extent, so it probably doesn't make that much of a difference. Yeah, there's another iron. Yeah, let's take the other one. Okay, red's turn. Going to take this guy and probably put it in the regular space down here. 3 whistles, 3 water, gold, and a water. That's a good space for her. And now blue could go there just as easily, so you're going to be fighting for that space. She's got plenty of resources. This would probably be a good time to maybe use that large market card. Yeah. What do we got? Executive Archives. When built, score 10 points. Also draw 2 cards. When activated, draw 4 cards and keep 2, discarding the other 2. Retooling Shop. When built, score 8 points. Take a face-up upgrade for free from the display. When activated, swap one of your upgrades with a face-up upgrade in the display. Now that's not considered gaining an upgrade, so it doesn't help Technician Blue. So actually, Retooling Shop might be a good choice. This one is Megaphone. It scores 16 points. When activated, gain a whistle, but every other player gains a random face-down award. One of these award runes. There's a bunch of leftovers. There's 12 of them in a stack over here face down. I think red's going to grab Retooling Shop, paying 1 gold and 4 whistles. Time for blues. Yes, blue is taking a forge action. Let's see, how does he want to place these? So I take this guy. How about in there? That's as good as any. And then we'll take this guy. And I guess park it right there. Boy, I'm hiding all the iron, aren't I? But there's a whistle on top, so yeah, let's do that. And then this guy, oh, I'm out of water and iron and whistles, so I can't build something else. He could play craft to build his last scaffold, cost him a gold. Yeah, what the heck. Play craft and take the last scaffold. Maybe I should stick it over there. Or should I put it there? Actually, by having it here, I could position my, as long as there's not a machine there for the time being, I could put a dreadnought in there and grab 3 iron at once. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And now red is having a forge action, and red's placing a big machine or some big machine. I think she's going to start by playing recycle and going to grab a whistle from and use this scaffold. So this one's going to go to the bottom of the stack, and red's going to get a coal and a whistle out of it. Next, we want to rescue a worker and put him, I think we're going to tuck him right there. Now, there is no place at the moment for a large machine. Certainly place for the medium size. So let's take that. And since gold is wild, do something similar to what red did, what blue did, and get it over here so that I can grab it. I'm not sure how long this nice space is going to last, and I probably shouldn't be leaving these little gaps. but so be it. I'm going to put this here, and I'll take this one at a cost of 1 water now, and I guess stick it right in here. And now we have a place to build that large machine. Since we know iron is what blue has their eye on, I think I'm going to kind of be spiteful and put it right there. Now, maybe this is not the best space because when you're placing machines, you got to think about making you got to think about adjacency. But actually, I don't think too much about adjacency because both of us now have the ace pilot ability. But I am covering up resources. I could, I can't do that because I don't have 9 spaces. So there's an empty space up there. So I'm just going to put it right here and promote this worker and get the free upgrade award. And score a bunch of points. What did I just score? 8 points for that. So we're creeping up. And I get to choose an upgrade for a building retooling shop because it has that when built effect. So we're going to take black lung. And now 3 resources are wild for red: gold, coal, and whistles. And should we redeem this and take another upgrade? Why not? What do we got? Manifest. Each turn, once per turn, discard a card and take 2 coal, which is wild. And there's strengtheners. Let's take manifest. My turn is done. Blue's turn. But while we have the opportunity, we're going to take that space that red loves so much and come right down here and get 3 whistles, 3 water, and a water and a gold. Red's not happy about that, but I think red might see a spot that's almost as good. What if we just put this guy right in here? We get a gold, which is wild, an iron, a whistle, and a coal, both of which are wild. So we have 3 wilds and a gold. Happy with that. And it's going to kind of get in blue's way when they're ready to start building. Although they could simply build over here to the east. Blue's got a lot of resources. There's a small machine up here with an iron on it. You know, let's grab that. Let's go to the small dock and grab metal pointer. Cost me a coal and a whistle. Red's turn. So red has a machine, wants to get scaffolding. So red's going to come over here. Definitely coal and gold is good. That one was free. Gold and a whistle is good. So this one I will pay a gold for. It cost me a whistle and a whistle, but gold is wild, so it's fine. And another gold. Yeah, let's grab that. Pay a coal for that. So lots of flexibility in what I can buy now. Each player has their blimp left. What to do with all these resources? I have water I need to build. I guess I should buy scaffolding, though there are places to build this. And probably red is going to still take a collection turn, though they could just as easily block me. I'm not sure what red's planning to do with her blimp. You know what? Let's take the blimp. Let's get an upgrade. Winner circle. Anytime you move a worker, when you promote a worker, gain a ribbon, whether there's one there or not. So even if I promote workers to these spots where the awards are missing, I still get an award. And if I get one where there is an award that's not missing, I get 2 awards, as long as this stack of 12 remains and doesn't get, doesn't dwindle down to 0. Pawn shop and strengthener. Yeah, I'm going to grab winner circle. And now I get to activate a machine. I guess metal pointer for an iron and a point. Red. Well, red is really all ready for the forge action. She could do a collection. How about we take the blimp and we stick it right there? So we get a whistle and a gold and a water. Oops. Can't put it there? Oh, because it's part of 2 different... It's part of 2 different scaffolds, which are not quite easy to see with my program, but it tells me that I can't put it there. But I can put it here. So I'll still get the 2 whistles. And is there something under there? No, I don't think there is anything under there. So 2 whistles. Yeah, I'll take 2 whistles. And yeah, I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to activate retooling shop. So that ends the turn. Forge action for blue. Only one thing to build. We're going to take this and finally cover up get that guy activated. Again, I'm not leaving gaps with resources. I'm hiding all these good, juicy resources. But so be it. Let's activate that guy, and I will get an award because of the winner circle. And I got a free small machine award. And I guess I'll redeem it, and I'll just take shiny coal. Oh, stupid me. That's what I should have taken. See, I'm not taking my time. Whatever. I think I made at least 1 mistake for each player now, so we're even. Okay, we're still forging. So this guy's going there. Paying an iron. Now we're placing shiny coal right here. Promoting the blue worker, getting another reward. Oh, we got one worth 6 points. So I think that's all I can do at the moment, and I'll end the turn, and red will do her forge action. She's got a lot to choose from here. Suppose we take that. How about that? Leaving these gaps everywhere. And then that one scored 4 points. And then how about that? I've got a place for my crane. Then we'll take a worker and we'll put it over here. And I will rotate the crane like that and build it right there. I'm covering up all these juicy resources, promoting the worker, going to get a ribbon that lets me gain a face-up small machine from the display. And this is going to cause flooding because I'm building a machine above the water line for the first time. So unfortunately, no ill effects at the moment. All this first level is going to get flooded out. So another water bar is going to appear here, but nobody's going to get swept into the whirlpool. No machines are going to get deactivated. No airships are going to get returned. Okay. And we have to pay the water. We'll just pay a coal. And look, we tied the score, 42 each. So she's happy about that. End her turn. Okay, we're going to redeem this for 6 points. That's easy. Tell you that winner circle is going to pay off that upgrade. Let's grab more cards. They were good to us. Let's see what we get this time. And we can pay 2 water. So we got battering ram. That's the one that lets you bump somebody off of the docking space. Pay a water and get mystery upgrade. Another one of those. Those are great for us. And I'll pay another water. And we got drawing board. Discard any number of cards to draw the same number of cards, +1 from the deck. I guess we're going to go for mystery upgrade. We got so good. Now that we got such a good one last time, we're going to get dud this time, but who knows? We get wet lung. Oh wow, blue is just everything's rolling in his favor. Wet lung is the one that lets you have water as a wild resource, so that's a great upgrade as well. And now he gets to activate a machine. And I think we're going to activate crane. And we're going to take some scaffolding. And this one has water and iron, so that's perfect for us. And coal and iron, well, water's great, so I'll take that. And I think that was another good turn for blue, as it turned out. So back to red. Let's take the blimp and stick it right there to get a coal and a gold and activate crane. So I'll take the coal and the gold. We'll activate crane, which is going to cost me a whistle to take 2 scaffolds. I'll take this one with gold and coal on it, both wild. Yeah, and I'll take that one, both wild. And I'll pay, I have to pay a whistle, so I'll just pay a coal. Blue. This gives me so much water, but this one's pretty good too. You know, let's just take the dreadnought and stick it in here. This may not be the optimal place, but 3 iron and a gold, I'm not going to complain about. Oh, and it gave me a point as well. So I'm going to end my turn. Red's turn. And I didn't mention, I should point out, by the way, you can perform your forge action at any time. You do not have to wait until all of your airships are placed in one form or another. And there certainly might be times where it makes sense to do that, where you need to get the initiative and perhaps take a forge action before another player takes their forge action. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen at some point during the game, but I thought I'd point it out. We got an iron and a gold and 3 whistles. What if we break the bank? This is a little risky. But let's go over here. Because I saw that megaphone. 16 points. I may not ever activate it. Because I'm not sure that's a good deal on activation. But 16 points, this one's worth 14. That's actually good too. Discard a card to gain a whistle and 5 points. Wow. But of course I make that available to my opponent as well. This one's worth 10 points. I'm going to grab Megaphone. All my resources are gone. I hope that pays off. And the turn, blue is definitely not using battering ram, at least not at the moment, and likes the idea of getting 2 cards for 1. So I think we're going to play drawing board. to discard battering ram. Of course, it's not going to let me discard drawing board because that's the card I'm playing. And in its, oh, I got remote trigger, which is good. That might come in handy next turn because I can't play a card now. And then unique opportunity, what does that do? Oh, you can draw 3 cards, keep 1. And I still have to place my, let's go to the Media Machine dock and grab Welder. Red, with a forge action coming up, is badly in need of water. I think we're going to just take this guy and put it down here and get a gold and 3 water. Actually, we can go here and get a gold and 4 water. No, I can't go there. Can't be partially off and partially on. I could go here. But I think I made a mistake earlier when I put blue's dreadnought there. So I guess to be fair, I'm going to make a mistake here. And I think I'll just put red over here and get a gold and 3 water. If I'm going to be making mistakes because I'm not thinking through my turns, I might as well try to be fair to both players. Okay, blue. Blue's going to play remote trigger, which lets him activate any machine, and he's going to activate wet gold for a wild water and a gold. And we're going to build scaffolding. I could flip that. How about if I do that? That was worth 3 points. And then this one is probably going to be worth 4, especially if I put it there. Or no, should I put it here? Yeah, I'll put it there. But it's still worth 4 points. And now we're going to get a worker out of the barracks and put him up here. And we're going to build welder, which is going to deactivate wet gold, sweep this guy into the whirlpool. Sorry, red. And red's going to get her dreadnought back, so theoretically she could use it again before doing a forge action. Yeah, we're going to... Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? We could use this. That came in handy. And that gets me a whistle award plus a free scaffold award. And there's the guy who fell into the drink, and red's dreadnought has gone back to her player board. I think that's about as much damage as I can do for in a turn. So I will turn it over to red. Now, should she play this? She's got water. No, I think she's going to forge ahead. Well, sorry, she's going to forge ahead and play 2 scaffolds and get her building up there. So where are we going to put these? How about that? And then am I really going to close up that whole gap? It really doesn't matter too much. I mean, you can fit a lot in there. All these resources are going bye-bye, but at least there's a gold on top. Okay, we'll put it there. We'll rescue this guy. Oh, darn it. Can't rescue the guy, so I'm going to have to drag this guy. I'll just put them there. That's going to be good for a card. And now, well, this is a 16-point build going right there. Nice. And water rushed in again and swept one of Blue's guys in. Let's use this one to draw a card. I got Dispatcher. This one allows me to return an airship to my player board and use it again before I have to forge. Score is neck and neck. You're probably wondering right now what triggers the end of the game. As soon as the last worker leaves the barracks by any means, be it a move or falling into the whirlpool, the active player ends his turn or her turn, and then every other player gets one more turn, at which point the game ends immediately, and then there's going to be a series of end game points that get collected for a variety of different things, which I'll point out to when I'll point all that out when we get there. I guess red is done. Okay, I'm back to continue. I took a break. You know that I've taken a break anytime that you can see that the workers in the whirlpool have swum to a different location. So anyway, where was I? Blue taking their turn. I guess we're going to start by using unique opportunity. So we drew secret door. Move one worker in the tower up or down one floor, gaining the award there if any. Nice. Return all. This is Stormwinds. Return all players' airships to their respective player boards. And medium market. Spend 3 iron to take a face-up medium machine from the display without obviously having to go there and use an airship turn to do so. I think of those, I'm definitely going to take this one. Yeah, we're going to take Secret Door, okay, which I cannot play now. I have to wait until next turn. Let's redeem this scaffolding award over here. And let's see, where am I? This is iron and water. Oh, we're taking this one. Iron and water are wild for blue. Okay, and now for blue's turn, let's take the balloon. Let's go up here to the top left corner of the metal pointer and gain 2 iron, a gold, and a point. I'm specifically not coming over here because I'm not going to plan to make use of retooling shop. So, okay, got some excess gold there. All right, red's turn. I think red's going to send her balloon over to here to get a gold and a coal from shiny coal. Both of those are wild for her. I suppose maybe I don't know, might have made more sense to come here and get both of these, get a gold, 2 iron, and a point. I don't know if that was so smart. Blue can now play Secret Door and will obviously do so by moving this guy from the 6th floor of the tower to the 7th floor, getting another award, this one allowing you to move a worker. And incidentally, moving a worker not only means moving a worker either from the barracks to the grid, but it may involve moving a worker that's already on the grid to a different location on the grid. Um, Something that hasn't come up. I'm not sure it's going to come up over the course of the game, but there may be times when you do position a worker with plans to promote that worker in another turn, and in the meantime another player kind of boxes you out or in and prevents you from making use of that worker, so you need to get them to a different location. but you may, or it may just be your desire to get somebody out of the barracks and into some location, just to avoid having them fall into the drink, and at least temporarily be somewhere on the grid. Let's take the whistle. And oh yeah, we wanted to get double iron, didn't we? Let's go up here, grab double iron while we still can. Spend a couple iron for that. Okay. Red. I think Red's going to go to the rescue dock to rescue this guy for free. And we'll put you way up here at the very top. And I still have this small machine. I guess I really should do something with this, shouldn't I? Let's grab black iron. Okay. Blue's turn. Let's go to the car dock. I got drawing board. Let's see what happens if I spend a gold. What else do I get? I get manufacturing. Let's stop there, because I still got somebody I have to rescue. That may be enough. I'm going to stop there. I will play manufacturing, and I'll grab... okay, so water and iron, or whistle. I'll take this guy. Let's put you over here and do what blue did before. Or maybe it'd be better to come here or here. Get a gold and a coal and make use of the crane. Yeah, I think I can handle that. So let's take a gold and a coal. Pay gold at the crane to take you. And I'll take you for some variety, and I'll pay a gold. Forge action for blue. How about we put you here? I have to place double iron. I think that's probably as good as any. And that's going to cause another guy to... oh no, I can rescue somebody here. Wait a second. All right, so that's good for, what, 3 points. Let's redeem you to move this guy up to here. Let's spend 2 gold to move this guy up to here. So this was a freebie. Well, this was a freebie for my award. This was my actual 1 move or rescue for my turn. Now we'll place double iron, which will cost me a whistle. And it's going to cause flooding. Deactivating metal pointer and retooling shop. So I'll get 2 awards from those guys. Oh, and yeah, poor Red dropped somebody else down below. Have I redeemed? Yeah, I did. I used an award to move that worker earlier, so that will have to wait. Those will have to wait for another turn. Okay, Red. Why? Oh, not doing an automatic deploy, an automatic forge action because red's holding dispatcher and could potentially play that to get a worker back, to get an airship back. I think red's going to forge. I think red is going to take this. And put it like that. Boy, this looks not very sturdy, does it? Okay. Okay, red has a water now to spend. Let's take this. Maybe flip it around. Put it there. That should be good for 2 points, costing me a water to place. Okay. Do I spend 2 gold? Maybe I wait to go to the rescue dock to save you. So I'll pay 1 gold to bring you up. And now place black iron there, and that's going to get me a card award. Oh, one of Blue's guys has fallen in. We're running out of time. The game is going to end as soon as everybody's gone from the barracks. Let's get a card. We got recycle. Let's play that right away. And we'll do it on this guy and get a gold, a wild gold and a wild coal. I think that's about, well, yeah, I have done all 3 builds. Okay, we're done. Blue. Well, let's get this out of the way. Take 4 points. This may or may not be the best place. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to put you up here for a whistle, a gold, coal, and an iron. Oh, wait a minute. I do have this 2 iron. No, this definitely is better. Yeah, let's do that. Red's turn. Let's see if we can get some more cards. Manufacturing. Let's pay a coal for something else. Craft. I'll stop there. I'll play manufacturing, and we'll take the whistle and the gold. Blue's turn. Let's go back to that same place and maybe put this here, just like the dreadnought. Get the same benefit. She has this up here for an iron, for 2 wild and an iron. I think that's the best bet. So we'll just stick the balloon up there. Blue. Oh, look at this. Forge. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, we're buying a forge, a 3 iron location, a 3 iron machine. Oh, that's beautiful. That between that and black iron, and double iron. Wow, Blue has really got the right machines in place. Okay, red has to do something about this worker because I have somebody who's about to fall in and somebody who's already in. We have to go to the rescue dock. And where am I going to put you? How about up here? Blues deploy? It is. Okay. Can I afford? I only need to do 2 builds. I could afford to bring you up. But now I have the same problem because I'm about to drown this guy. So maybe why spend 2 gold when I can get away with spending 1 gold? I just have to worry about getting this guy out of there before the game's over. So let's bring you up to here for 1 gold. Oh, what's this, a whistle? Take this. I guess I'm going to be promoting to both Red's guy and my guy. I don't think there's a way to avoid that. Okay, see, this is coming here. Red was smart about where she put that worker, and that's going there. But I get an award, and Red does not. And I got a build award. Red. Red is going to play dispatcher to bring back the blimp and put it right back in the rescue dock and get this guy out of there. And there's no great place for you to go. Oh my gosh, there's no place for you to go. I just have to park you here. Yeah. Well, better than losing 5 points. Okay. Which means blue cannot go there. But red's going to have to forge eventually. Oh, we're going to go to... We've got to get booster pack. See if I can get another upgrade before the game's over. Okay. Now red is forced to forge. She'd like to see if she can force this guy down into the world. But that means her guy's going to go into the world. Wait a minute. Could she rescue her guy and get his guy to fall in? Let's see. Oh my God, red's down by 20 points. I think I'm seeing the writing on the wall. This is not looking good. Let's take you. How many points can I score with you? What's that worth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Yes. And then this one. I don't have a machine to place. That's the problem. That's going to be the death of me. All right, so that's worth what, 4 points? 4 points. And I have to pay something. I'll pay a coal. And now we get this guy out of here. At least I rescued him. Okay. I gotta rescue that guy before anything happens. So let's get this down here. Bring you up, I guess, to here. Okay. We gotta get a machine. We can afford a small machine. Let's go here. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to do this. I might. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go there and buy shiny point or double pointer. How about that? Doesn't really make much of a difference now. Let's take shiny pointer. Oh, I've only got 1 iron. That's the problem. I could force a forge on the next turn and place this for free. And that would force this guy down. And blue's locked up the space. Blue has 2 gold. What if blue forges now? Wait a minute. Yeah, I need to forge in order to get this guy out of the barracks. So I just don't have you. I don't have the ability to place you anywhere valuable. I'll just put you up here. Yeah, the end of the game has been triggered because all the guys are out of the barracks. That means blue finishes his turn and then red has one last turn. Now I get to use this. I think red forgot about this award sitting here. Blue uses this to build that, to rotate and go there. At least red gets her worker promoted. Blue ends up with an award he can't spend, but it'll be worth maybe something at the end. I think it's worth a point at the end. There's nothing else that blue can do at this point. Okay, at least nobody ended up with any workers in the whirlpool. But we each sort of have a couple of workers stranded on the barracks. Okay, so what can red possibly do on this final turn? Has no way to place this. Actually, we could possibly get a miracle card. I can draw 2 cards and hope for a miracle. I don't think there's any card that's going to help me, but it's worth a shot. Large market doesn't help me. I might as well spend the iron and see what else I get. And that doesn't help me. And I think that pretty much ends it. Currently the score stands at 143. So you get points for all these guys, as I indicated before. 1 point for this guy, 4 for these guys, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points for them. You lose points for workers in the 5 points per worker in the whirlpool. Nobody has any down there. You gain your points for your upgrades, whatever is indicated on the upgrade. And you gain points for leftovers. 1 point for each worker, for each machine, and for each award that's left over. You get 1 point for every 2 scaffolds that you have left over, 1 point for every 2 cards you have left over. So red's got 1 point worth. Red's got 2 points right there in leftovers. And then you get 1 point, as I said, for every 4 resources. I think this is going to be an easy blue victory. Oh, wow. That's worse than I thought it was going to be. 172 to 146. Ouch. Workers in the tower, 54, 51, pretty darn close. Nobody in the whirlpool. Upgrades, pretty close. Blue 13, red 10. Leftovers, blue 1, red 2. Red was way behind going into the end of the game, and unfortunately didn't have a chance. But that's probably mostly due to my poor play. At least you got a chance to see a full playthrough of Whistle Mountain. I hope everything worked exactly as it was supposed to. My program seemed to behave and do everything right. If you have any questions or comments, please include them below. Like and subscribe if you would, and thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.